Léonins is not the only name that has survived from the Notre Dame school of composers. We also know that his successor was called Perotin. Within a generation, Perotin had compiled a new edition of Léonin's work. Anonymous 4 describes Perotin as a master who wrote the best four-part polyphony. Sidera and Principes was written for the feast of St. Stephen, the first Christian martyr and co-patron of Notre Dame. Just as the Gothic builders used flying buttresses and rib vaults to support all this tracery and stained glass, Perotin used Léonin's development of duplum organum, the extended tenor drone and the Pythagoras-approved note intervals, to support more and more elaborate, interwoven vocal parts. So, Harry, we've arrived now at one of the big bang moments of Western music. So how long before this happened had the church been singing what we were singing?
Only a matter of about 50 years. I mean, we're really talking about the turn of the 12th century. Right. We have Léonin writing those duplum, organum, and then Perotin coming along and revising it and actually turning it into four-part. And now, that obviously, by necessity, needs much more organisation.
So this is Video Domines Perotin. It's, again, based on a plain song chant.
Let's sing it. Let's sing the opening phrase.
And you're going to ask me to sing it as well, aren't you?
Certainly am.
Well, it's on your head, be it.
I've got my modern version of a monochord.
Monochord.
Yeah. Great, so that's a basic tune. Now, what's he do? Now, the same as Léonin, in that we have the long note values. So the plain song is elongated.
Poor old Jonathan has to do it by himself.
Massive lungs.
You can join me on this.
Yes. Well, I thought you might say that, and OK.
And then over the top of it, we have these added parts. Duplum, second part, triplum, third part, quadruplum, the fourth part.
And if I were to sing it with you,
we could exercise
and destroy the beauty of the whole thing, do we do what I was always taught was called staggered breathing, which is that I breathe and you don't, and then you breathe and I don't.
Yeah. It organically
through osmosis, we know when the other person is going to...
Or you can indicate through the subtle use of your little finger on the page. If you're going to breathe, then I know that you're breathing and I won't.
Shall we have a go? I'm with you.
Right.
Here we go. Various different interpretations.
Our fingers work. Sorry, that was actually the most exciting thing for me. Is our fingers work.
I mean, I think the thing is that chord at the beginning, the impact that would have had in 1198 when it was first ever performed, Christmas Day. This is an amazing moment.
Yes.
It still sounds very rich. Even to
it does. Yes.
It's an athletic sing. That's the other thing. I mean, we've only given a bit now, but when you hear the whole thing, it's a big sing.
It's amazing. As we go through the piece, though, we've got great moments of real discord. I'm going to just sing a little passage. Do you have the drone?
It's the most fantastic cadence, isn't it?
It is absolutely brilliant.
It gives it a very earthy feel as well, doesn't it?
Yes.
Despite the fact that it's spiritual music and sacred music, it gives it a real earthy quality that I think would really ring true.
And many a modern composer would be proud of that moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's not hard to imagine how they might have felt when they first sung this 4-part music, which had never been done before, really. And it's got an amazing rawness and an amazing power. You can just imagine that they would have felt overwhelmed by that. This was really a new departure, a real moment in history.
What 4-part Perotin must have sounded like to a congregation turning up in the 12th century and hearing that amazing texture, that chordal 4-part ringing down the nave and then coming back. Absolutely amazing. They are now experiencing something completely new.
Contemporary listeners reacted with the medieval equivalent of shock and awe. The Bishop of Chartres, who attended services in Notre Dame at this time, gave this first-hand description. That which is most tuneful among the birds cannot equal them. Hearing the soft harmonies of the various singers, some taking the high parts and others the low, some singing in advance, others following in the rear, you would think yourself listening to a concert of sirens rather than men, and wonder at the power of voices. Such is their skill in running up and down the scale, so wonderful the shortening or multiplying of notes, the repetition or emphatic utterance of the phrases. The treble and shrill notes are so mingled with the tenor and the bass that the ears lose all power of judgment. When this is taken to excess, it is more fitting to excite lust than devotion. But if it is kept within the bounds of moderation, it drives care away from the soul, confers joy, peace, and exaltation in God, and transports the soul to the society of angels. The Notre Dame school gave the Western world its first taste of developed harmony, and that taste would lead on to Bach, as we shall hear later in this series, and also to the harmonic riches of Mozart, Beethoven, Wagner, and the whole range of popular music. Vetus arbit litera is a celebration. This is the day of joy. Let us rejoice, says the text. Our guilt is forgiven. And surely you can hear that joy in the complex hypnotic play of the four voices. In the next episode of Sacred Music, my journey will take me to Rome to discover the unaccompanied choral music of the Italian Renaissance and its greatest master, Palestrina. His story will take us into the heart of the labyrinth of 16th century Vatican politics, where popes wield power and authority, and singers take the praise of God to dizzy new heights.